Imagine walking into an old, forgotten school hallway and finding a dusty, broken violin lying in the corner. Now imagine that violin changing the life of a father and son in a way no one could have ever predicted. Before we dive in, if you love stories that touch the heart and remind us of the hidden beauty in ordinary lives, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because today's story will stay with you long after it ends. The story begins with Daniel, a single father in his mid-40s, who worked long, tiring shifts as a school janitor. His life was far from glamorous, but every mop he pushed and every trash bin he emptied was for one reason: his son, Adam. Adam was 12, a quiet boy who hadn't spoken a word since his mother passed away years ago. Doctors called it selective mutism brought on by trauma, but for Daniel, it was simply another weight on his already heavy heart. Each night, Daniel would sit at their small kitchen table, pretending everything was normal, speaking aloud about his day, while Adam just stared silently, his big brown eyes filled with 1,000 unspoken words. One evening, while cleaning out the storage room in the school's basement, Daniel stumbled upon an old violin case. The instrument inside was cracked, strings hanging loose, bow frayed and useless. He almost tossed it into the trash cart, but something about the violin stopped him. It was fragile, broken, much like his boy. He thought, maybe Adam could at least hold it, play with it, distract himself. So, instead of throwing it away, Daniel brought it home. When Adam first saw the violin, his eyes lit up with a spark Daniel hadn't seen in years. He gently lifted the instrument, his small fingers running over the wood as though it were something precious. Daniel tried to joke, "Don't expect it to play Mozart, it barely makes noise." But to his surprise, Adam didn't put it down. That night, long after Daniel went to bed, faint, uneven sounds drifted from Adam's room. Broken notes, scratchy and off-key, yet filled with something raw. In the weeks that followed, Adam poured himself into that violin. No lessons, no teacher, just instinct. Every day, he scraped, plucked, and experimented. Daniel would come home exhausted from cleaning classrooms, only to find his son hunched over the instrument, lost in his own world. The music wasn't perfect, it was haunting, trembling, almost painful, but it was alive. For the first time in years, Adam seemed to be finding his voice, not through words, but through sound, but life wasn't easy. Other kids teased Adam at school, calling him "mute boy" and laughing at the squeaky noises from his violin. Daniel's heart broke each time he heard about it, but Adam never complained. He just kept playing, even when his fingers blistered. Daniel wanted to buy him a proper violin, but money was tight. Every paycheck went toward rent, food, and bills. Some nights, Daniel stayed up late staring at his bank balance, wondering if he was failing as a father. Then came the turning point. The school was hosting its annual talent show, and Adam, without saying a single word, signed up. When Daniel found out, he panicked. "Son, maybe wait until you're ready. These kids can be cruel," he said softly. But Adam just looked at him, eyes steady, as if saying, "This is what I need to do." Daniel had no choice but to support him. The night of the talent show arrived. The auditorium buzzed with laughter and chatter as students sang, danced, and performed skits. Finally, Adam's name was called. He stepped onto the stage, clutching the old, broken violin. The audience snickered. Whispers filled the air, "That's the mute kid. With that piece of junk violin?" Even the judges shifted uncomfortably. But then Adam lifted the bow. The first sound that came out was shaky, uncertain, and the audience giggled. Daniel sat frozen in the back row, his fists clenched, praying for a miracle. And then, it happened. Adam closed his eyes, and his hands began to move with a grace no one had seen before. The broken violin sang. It wasn't flawless, far from it, but the notes carried something deeper than perfection. They carried grief, love, longing, and hope. Every stroke of the bow poured out years of silence, pain, and unspoken words. The auditorium went still. Jaws dropped. Teachers leaned forward, tears welling in their eyes. Children who once mocked him now sat in silence, captivated. For those few minutes, the world stopped. No one heard a mute boy with a broken violin. They heard a soul speaking louder than words ever could. When the last trembling note faded, the room erupted. People stood, clapping, cheering, some even crying. Daniel's vision blurred with tears as pride swelled in his chest. He wasn't just watching his son play, he was watching his son heal. After that night, everything changed. The school rallied around Adam. A music teacher offered free lessons. A local charity heard the story and donated a brand new violin. Slowly, Adam began to speak again, not much, but enough. And when he whispered his first word in years, "Dad," Daniel broke down, holding him tighter than ever before. The broken violin that was meant for the trash had given a boy back his voice and a father back his hope. Their journey wasn't perfect, but it was theirs, and it reminded everyone who witnessed it that beauty can rise from brokenness. So, if you've stayed with this story until the end, remember this: sometimes, the things we think are worthless hold the power